Afternoon, Ajahn. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, Kim Hong. Good. And Sita, good to see you. Sorry you had some problems finding the details before. Let's let Sita start because she's had a difficulty finding the Zooms because of the change in passwords. So go ahead, Sita. We can't hear you, Sita. You need to unmute.
I wasn't prepared, but just a minute, I have to use my book. Okay. Sorry, Ajahn. Morning, Ajahn. Ajahn, many discussion. Ajahn was mentioning about the 3 rounds. So try to consider about it. The first round is the Arya Satya, and the second round is the abandoning. Yes, this is the second round. The third round is, I cannot remember. And the third, abandoning, and the third round.
Sita, did you say the
end.
Second round?
The end of suffering, am I right? And the fourth is the noble truth, that is the path that has to be developed. Could Ajahn explain me a little deeper? The path that has to be developed. Of course, the first one, we have to understand the truth before we can develop the path. But in this abandoning, that is, I was considering that is this 3 gocharas. Sarah, am I correct? That is guarding. It takes place in the third round.
Yes, so the first round is now beginning to understand the truth of different realities. Each reality now, it arises, it falls away, it's dukkha. And we read about the cause of dukkha, the clinging with ignorance. And
that is the second round.
This is all first round, the intellectual understanding about the 4 noble truths.
Okay.
And the second round is the direct understanding of those realities. No abandoning. No abandoning yet. So it's better if we begin at the beginning, begin to consider the truth about the different realities. This is the beginning of the first round about the noble truths, about the 4 Aryan truths, and the path is the 4th one. So there has to be the beginning of understanding what is true now, seeing now, hearing now, and the way, what is the way to understand it, like now, considering, reflecting, becoming familiar with what is the object to be understood, the suitable gochara to be understood, what is to be known now.
Yes.
I'll just see if Ajahn would like to add anything or say anything to you.
I've forgotten about the gochara already.
Is there Dhamma now?
Yes, Ajahn.
What is Dhamma?
Dhamma is a truth. Dhamma is truth. Dhamma is here now.
What is
Dhamma is understanding the reality that is now.
One moment now.
Okay.
What is there? It's not just the word. It is the careful considering to understand the very subtle reality, that it
Yes,
does not
Ajahn.
appear as it is, no matter how much we learn about it and understand
Yes.
the words about it. But what about the understanding of the nature which we have studied? What is there now?
Yes, that is the reality. The problem is, Ajahn,
No problem
it has
yet.
to be reminded and forget, and some truths are hidden that one cannot see, but yes, repeating again and again is good. In spite of that, one forget it after several months.
Is it firm confidence of the truth about
Yes, well,
what is there now? Firm
yes,
confidence. What is the truth now? What
the
is there
truth
now?
is the reality. There's seeing and there is truth.
It's
And
easy. It's not deep. When it's seeing, everyone knows that there is seeing right now. But what is seeing? Because we use the word Dhamma all day. What is real is Dhamma. So seeing now sees it's real, so it's a Dhamma. Is that enough?
not enough. We have to understand further, and it needs a lot of patience to understand deeper, and there's also in between we forget a lot.
Usually we don't know that if it's not the understanding so very, very sharp and clean and clear
Yes,
and deep, it's not
yes,
understanding Dhamma, just understanding the term about Dhamma right now, but the nature of Dhamma. Even we don't say anything, nobody can change the truth of it. So
yes,
deeper than that, what is there
yes,
now? Not just Dhamma, not just seeing. What is there? This is the beginning to have very deep understanding, deeper
yes,
and
Ajahn.
deeper.
Yes.
Is Dhamma so subtle now? Now is Dhamma subtle?
Subtle is deep, has to continue to consider, and little by little, slowly notice.
Is so deep that it has to
Yes,
be understanding from the very beginning of just one reality, only one reality, understanding how subtle it is to understand that that is Dhamma. Nobody knows without hearing about the truth from the enlightened one. So what is there now?
there
This is
is
the
seeing
beginning of right understanding.
also. Yeah, understanding the reality, and that is seeing, but the seeing.
Everyone knows there is
Pardon,
seeing.
Adan?
Everyone knows there is seeing right now, right?
Yes,
Is it deep?
it's very deep. It's very deep, Ajahn.
That's a good answer, because a child can say, oh, they're seeing now. Anyone can repeat they're seeing now, and that is not deep because it's just repetition. But to understand the seeing now, like you say, is very deep.
Yes.
Not
In
everyone can say about that is seeing right now. We think that they think that there are many things around, right?
yes,
So only the person who listens to the teachings would say, there is seeing right now. It's real, but it's not as deep, not as subtle. as it is, to really understand the reality, which is Dhamma, which is so real. Nobody can change its characteristic. So right now, what is there?
That is the reality. And
Yeah.
this reality is hidden, the darkness we cannot see.
Story about reality. So what is deeper than that, than the story?
Understanding.
Understanding
Understanding.
what?
Understanding the truth. The
Oh,
truth, that is the first round coming back.
that's why we learn just that way. Copy the words about the 3 rounds of the Four Noble Truths. But what is deeper than that? So deep.
Yes. Consider.
No one can think about it easily. So the answer is, what is there? A reality which experiences an object, the ultimate truth.
Yeah.
Is it now?
Yeah, it's now.
Any moment?
Every moment, every second.
Yeah. But always forgotten. But it's not
Yes.
yet realized as it is at all. Just remember the definition. What is it? It's just a reality which arises and experiences an object. But when it's there, right now, no thought about it. So what is there now? No thought about sound or sight or anything, because it's there unknown, that it is that which experiences an object. Is that right?
Yes.
That's the
Yes. It's
only moment when the other reality does not appear, but it's there, experiences an object. And without such sharp and wise understanding about it, there cannot be the second round to directly understanding the nature of it, as it's not the sound or the sight or hardness or anything at all. A reality which is so great that without it nothing can appear. No world, no star, no moon at all. All depends on that reality which arises to experience an object. Each moment in life, years and years ago, from moment to moment, even right now, it's forgotten. So right understanding begins not to forget. In order to realize the truth, in order to have the very firm confidence of the truth that it is not anyone or anything at all. It just experiences a reality, experiences an object. And we learn a little more about the reality which experiences the object. So now we understand what is meant by the object and the reality which experiences it, in order to have the understanding of the true nature of what is there. For example, what is sin? See, there is seeing, and it's that which arises to experience the object by way of seeing. And what is sin?
seeing is a reality, seeing is the truth. And like Ajahn say, it's experiencing an object. And this
What
the
is the
arise
object? What is the object of seeing?
Sachita.
Study Dhamma. Begin to consider carefully
Yeah.
each Dhamma.
What is seen now, Sita?
Seeing now is a reality. Seeing
What
now,
kind of reality is seen now? What the object of seeing? What is seen now?
it's my seeing the truth. I see the truth. I see
What is
the
heard now? What is the object of hearing now?
the object. What shall I say? I got mixed up. Hearing, there is the ear sense.
Yes, there must be ear sense, but what does hearing hear?
It's
It doesn't hear ear sense. What does it hear? What is the object? Okay, just consider a little more. Take your time. Just think about what it is that hearing hears now, what seeing sees now. It must be a sense object because it's the object is experienced through a sense door.
okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. And that was where I got sometimes stuck up with this this sense object. Is this pasada rupa? That's why I was so confused.
So it must be a rupa that is experienced by hearing. It must be a rupa that's experienced by seeing. So what is seen is a rupa, that is the object of seeing. What is heard is a rupa, sound that is heard now.
But it's not pasada rupa, that's the ear sense.
Yes, it's not the sense space, it's not the ear sense, it's not the eye sense. It's a rupa, but not the pasada rupa. The sound is heard. Ear sense is not heard.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, I think.
Okay, just consider it. Just take your time. Kim Hong is also waiting. Kim Hong, go ahead with your question. We'll come back to it, Sita. Just consider a little more.
Yes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Achan. Good afternoon, everyone. I just heard in this morning that I couldn't make clear that something between about the characteristic of arising and appear. What's different of to the characteristics?
Yes, it's just a matter of the words or the terminology. So seeing arises, it falls away. Whatever reality is conditioned now arises and falls away. So seeing arises now, but it doesn't appear. It's not the object that is experienced and known now. So it arises, it's gone, but it's unknown. Hearing arises and falls away, unknown. So sometimes a Ajahn will say, what appears now? In other words, what is the reality that is the object that can be known now? Visible object, that which is seen. It is the object of experience. It arises and falls away. And it can also appear now. There can be the beginning of understanding that it's just visible object that's seen. Sound can appear. It's the common object that can appear What is heard is not ear sense or anything else, it's just sound that is heard, rises and falls away. And sometimes we say at a moment of hearing, it's that which is experienced. Sometimes it appears referring to what can be known, what is experienced at this moment of hearing. So different from what arises, which is any reality now, arises and falls away. The seeing with 7 Chaitasikas, they all arise and fall away unknown. They're not the object that appears like visible object or sound now.
Okay, I got it.
Thanks.
And yeah, I'm not clear that more about the object and the what we call in Bali is ko, jara, and visija. What's different from all of those? Like root barong and ko, jara, and visija.
I'll start with the first two. So aramana, rupa aramana. So any object is aramana, and if it's rupa aramana, then it's the object which is a rupa. So visible object is a rupa aramana. But whatever is experienced, even a concept or an idea, is aramana, thinking about plate. The idea is the aramana. It just means the object of the chitta. Gochara, it means object. Actually, literally, it's the field like where the cows go to pasture. It's the field of experience. So it is referring to the object, but in this context, it's referring to the object as taught by the Buddha to be understood. So visible object is the gochara of understanding, the field, the object of understanding, when there is understanding. Cup or table is not gochara of understanding because it's just an idea. And visya, I'm not quite sure. What is the visya? Do you know?
7 rupas that appear in daily life, the Visaya Rupa, I think.
Okay, yes. So also the gochara rupas. So the 7 rupas, which are all referred to as gross rupas, that are experienced through the sense doors, visible object, the sound, and so on. These are the visara rupas, or gochara rupas. So aramana, any object, gochara, usually the object to be understood, visara, those sense objects appearing. So apo dhatu, the water element, cohesion, it's not a visara dhatu, visara gochara, because visara object, because it doesn't appear through the sense doors.
Sarah, I just wanted to talk about the topic that we were discussing about what is arising and what is appearing. Yes, the Dhamma arising, like seeing arising and all that. But when Thanachan say what appear in a day, like what appears in a day is mostly visible object, but the actual seeing is not the one that appearing. It's although it's arising, but really throughout the day is about what seeing experience. So is the visible objects that appear, but seeing itself really doesn't appear, but it arises, right?
Yes, exactly. It's not the common object that is experienced to be known. That's why no understanding of seeing now, because it doesn't appear as object, but visible object does appear.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, Zhao was waiting to ask a question this morning. Please go ahead, Mr. Zhao.
First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to Ajahn, the teachers. Before bring up my question, I would like to return to the topic Kun Katman discussed this morning because she brought up many points that are reflecting on. So as she said, we all carry so much knowledge from different sources, even from Ajahn book. But when Ajahn asks, what is there now? It makes me sad. Because of ignorance, contradictions seem natural. But if we are learning what we learn, have a better understanding this moment at anatta, then it's useful. If it leads to practice or to expectation, then it's not correct. So that's why we need Ajahn. Ajahn help us to clarify more and more. So for myself, when I learn about the reality at this moment, the confusing with me is it's mixed up between the conventional truth like a cup or a table, or to ultimate reality like seeing or hearing, and they often get mixed up. So just a comment before I bring up my question.
You bring up the question now.
Yes. I would like to say the first time I know Buddhism through the Jakarta story. Later, when I heard Ajahn explanation, I began to see the deeper truth hidden behind those stories. And today, I just want Ajahn help me to understand just one reality, phasa. So the moment of bodily contact, phasa. And I know that moment is not same as the mental experience of touching something like touching a table, a cup, or my glasses. Instead, I understand at the moment of seeing, hearing, touching, harness softness, heat, cold, tension, or motion, or phasa arise with the chitta at the moment of seeing the visual object. So that many things I can learn from say about phasa. That why I would like to sit here to hear Ajahn say, or the teacher, or the teacher, or here, help me many aspects to understand about phasa at this moment. Thank you.
Okay, so the question is about phasa, and
Yeah.
as you know, phasa arises with every citta. So no matter whether we call it bodily contact or any other kind of contact or mental contact, each one is phasa cetasika, and each phasa is a nama. So even if it's referred to as bodily contact, it just means the phasa that accompanies the citta at that moment. So in order for the citta to experience its object, no matter visible object or sound or tangible object or a concept, an idea, it needs phasa to experience that object, to contact that object in order for citta and the other Cheta seekers to experience it. No citta can arise without passa. Without passa, no Vedana, no feeling pleasant or unpleasant or hungry or anything else. So passa is just the common reality that contacts the object at each moment, and it's a nutriment for citta and Cheta seekers to experience that same object. So it conditions them in different ways by accompanying them and by being a nutriment for them in order for citta to experience and continue on one after the other. So no matter what terms are used, bodily or this or that, it's the mental nama. It's the nama that arises at each moment. And maybe Ajahn would like to talk more about passa.
And it's
About Dhamma.
Cheta.
Yeah, because Dhamma is so very subtle. Even citta, which is the chief of experiencing an object right now, does not appear. So does passa now appear? See,
They are but not appear.
that's it. That's why be truthful to the truth of each reality. The reality which is the chief of experiencing an object. It is the chief, what does it mean? There must be other reality which experiences the object too, but not as this one. This one is the chief. No matter when it arises and what object it experiences, it is just the chief of experiencing, not other function at all. So now, when will that reality, we say citta, the chief of experiences, appear to be known as no one? That is the point of listening to the truth, to realize the Four Noble Truths. Only understanding can experience the truth, while the other mental factors arising together perform its own function, each different one. That's why, bit by bit, we learn to understand the truth, to let go, even the idea of I or something, that this is just the level of intellectual understanding of the truth, while right now, whatever appears has arisen and fallen away instantly all the time. The first noble truth, anytime, by way of anatta, not by anyone at all. Not I can do or I can try and I will know. Impossible. Because each word of truth is letting go, ignorance and attachment, which covers up the truth of each moment. And if that is the idea, what is the way? What is the way? No way. No one, so no way. But right understanding is a reality which understands the truth little by little from the very beginning. That's why there are 3 rounds of the Four Noble Truths. Even we talk about citta right now, it's not known, impossible. But hearing again and again, every moment of understanding, it is the path so very subtle to condition moment of realizing what we are talking about, only one at a time, by different levels of clear understanding of vipassana jhana. Panya is panya. When panya arises, it wearing away ignorance and attachment. So very gradually unknown. How much now? But the daily life is a proof how much understanding of what we are talking about right now. To be true to the truth, Satya Parami, is the most important. There are 3 levels of understanding. Without the first level, how can they be conditioned to directly, instantly aware and understand the truth of just hardness now, or that which is seen now, or the seeing now, by conditions, unexpectedly, anatta. So talking about anything which is now like pasta, but can it be known? What can be
Attention.
known is the reality which experiences the object. When it's not attachment, when it's not anger, when it's not ignorance, it's the understanding, not anyone at all. And at moment of understanding an object only at a time, no wish to experience passa, even passa is there, but learn to understand. Only one reality cannot arise alone. It needs conditions, cetasika, arising together, perform the function of cetasika together in a moment. Phassa performs its function. Vedana, feeling, different from phassa, is there too. So we learn about what is there now, one by one. But even they arise together, they cannot appear all together at all. It's not clear if many things appear together. But when only one characteristic appears, it begins to be clearer and clearer to understand the truth of it unexpectedly. Can there be awareness with understanding of feeling right now because it's there? No one knows beforehand. Unexpected, anatta. Learning to have firm confidence of anatta, no one. So it's wrong if one tries so hard to understand it. Because in truth, what is there? Not anyone, but different realities, different namas. So while we're talking about what is there now, one is the reality which experiences the object. Why is there known? Because at that moment, the other characteristic of reality does not appear to be known. What is there? See, a reality which experiences the unknown object because the object does not appear to be known. That's why learning to distinction between the nama and the rupa is not easy. It's so very subtle. So we learn more. Even citta, the chief of experiences, cannot be aware of the truth.
So,
And
ท่านอาจารย์so like when you're saying that like Phassa arise, other Dhamma arise, or even Chitta, that consciousness that experience the object arise, but these does not appear. It's only what the Chitta experience, the object that appears, right? Even though we talk about different Cetasika and Chitta that is chief of experience, all these are arising but not appear in a day. So
without understanding what are there as that which experiences and that which does not experience, how can anything appear as it is? That which experiences, not
yes,
the object which is experienced, different one. At moment of seeing right now, the reality which sees is there when it appears, but not that which is seen. Imagine how deep it is.
Yes.
Only one reality appears. Now, how many things around? How many dhammas unknown are there? Each moment of ignorance and attachment by way of asava, it's there already. So very subtle, but it's still there. Because it's not the anusaya, see. Just learn to let go ignorance and attachment and clinging. And I try very hard to understand it or to experience it. Impossible. Because it's only the function of right understanding right now. Right understanding now is a reality, and it develops more and more carefully considered to get closer to the nature of that which just arises and experience the object. No sound, no smell, no sight, no heart, not anything at all. And this is the first round of understanding the truth, just the way to begin to directly experience the nature of what is there as we have studied, until it appears the third round. By conditions, by the development of panya, moment to moment, so very subtle. That's why the path is the fourth of the Four Noble Truths. So subtle. It's right now, at moment of panya, develops unknowingly, so gradually. And when there is attachment to have it more, it's not the path. It's not right understanding. It covers up again by ignorance and attachment. And the wrong path cannot be close to the truth. It's far away from the truth because of the I is there. No understanding by conditions right now, not by anyone. So be true to the truth right now. What appears, that which experiences, or that which is experienced, that cannot experience anything at all. So, what appears now? Now.
Visible object, but not the seen.
Yeah, it's easy to say. Visible object. Be true to the truth. Now, I see you. Not visible object.
Yes, yes.
That's why atta is there. So very, very rapidly the way reality arises and falls away by conditions. So how can what appears now be less and less and less taken for something as before? Until moment of it appears as just so very, very, very tiny. Even seeing right now, the truth is that it appears in darkness, right? But now it appears among light. See how subtle it is for the Buddha to develop understanding gradually until it's time to realize the truth. And what did he say? The world does not appear as it is at all.
And this comes back to what Sao was saying in his introduction. We talk about cups and table and seeing and hearing to understand about the distinction between what is here, what is now, what can be known, and what are just conventional objects, aramanas, which are just different kinds of concepts. And because of ignorance about the realities, there is always the taking what is seen, what is thought about for atta, for something. And this is what conditions the ideas of practice, which I think you mentioned. I couldn't really follow everything you said, but I heard some of these words. So without understanding, there will always be the idea of doing something, of practicing, or focusing on an object or misunderstandings, what is meant by bodily contact, for example. So this is why we, even though Phassa doesn't appear, we talk about the reality, we talk about the different realities, just to understand that this is what life is now, just different cetasikas and rupas. No one, nothing, no cups, tables, glasses, bodies, in truth. So whatever terms are used like bodily contact, we know it's just referring to a Dhamma, a cetasika arising and falling away at each moment, anatta, and this is the main point. So we can read all the texts, but the main point is the understanding that we're just reading about different Dhammas that are anatta. Even when we read the Vinaya about all the rules for the monks and so on, this is for lay people too. They can also be understanding, reflecting its different dhammas about bad behavior, different dhammas about what is to be followed for the monks. But it's all for the reflection about realities, even for the monks. It's not a separate path or a separate way. The goal and the rounds are exactly the same, the development of understanding of the truth from beginning to end.
Yeah, see. So Tan Ajahn always gives Kammatthana to us more than 67 years. You see, what is now? The object of the right understanding, Kammatthana. See, I found the sutta that the Bhikkhu asked for Kammatthana. See, the Kingsu Kopama Chataka. Yeah. The Sutanta Pitaka Kutaka Nikaya Tukka Nibata Chataka, Book 3, Part 3, page 514. Yeah. And the four Bhikkhu went to the Buddha, asked for Kammatthana. See, and after that, they all became Arahata. Yeah.
What was the Buddha's answer
Very
when
easy.
they asked for Kammatthana?
Ajahn, could you please explain that? Yeah, like Tan Ajahn always give Kammatthana to us. What is here now? The right object of the right understanding.
So we have to begin again. What is Kammatthana?
Kamma is the developed right understanding, the reality which is appearing right now, which is the Thana, but the Thana, I don't know how to explain.
And said it was like the field of work, the object of understanding. And Ajahn said, oh, it's very kind of common word, so it's just what is to be known right now. So the Buddha always taught about what is to be known right now, no matter for bhikkhu or lay person.
I mean, there's many times in the text where the person asks the Buddha for something, and the Buddha gives an answer, but of course puts a completely different meaning on what is being asked, because he brings it back to understanding rather than necessarily answering the question directly.
Gochara, very common word.
Yeah.
So commonly, different common ideas about its meaning in daily life. But then the Buddha said the true Gochara is the object of understanding. So words that are commonly used like Kammatthana or Gochara, but then have a specific meaning.
So
and the
Gochara
Buddha talks about
there is in the context of what is the proper conduct and resort for a bhikkhu, and what is wrong conduct and resort for a bhikkhu. And resort is a translation of Gochara. And the answer given by the Buddha is that the right resort means the place where someone spends their time. Conduct is their behavior. Place is where they go and who they resort is where they go and who they frequent with, who they associate with. And one of the meanings of improper resort, wrong resort, given in the text is, for example, associating with bad people, prostitutes, and so forth. But the right resort for a bhikkhu is with the mind is on the object being understood. So that's it's not a literal meaning of resort; it's a metaphorical meaning of resort.
There can be good resort in a bad resort, right?
But for the Buddha, when he talks about the Gochara Sampajanya, it's referring to the object of understanding, the right resort always.
There are many meanings in different parts in Tipitaka, Vinaya, Suttanta, and Abhidhamma. But we have to understand the ultimate truth, Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa, by different ways, different manners. Just one word, Aramana for everything that Citta knows or experience, no matter what. But why there are such words like Kojara, Upanishya Kojara, or the place where Citta goes, resort, and so on, it depends on what it's talking about then, by way of Sila, Vinaya, or by way of Suttanta, or by way of Abhidhamma. Where's the place that monks should go? Not to the movie theater or other place. That is Vinaya. Yeah, Hua Hin. Any place, see? That's why learning about object, aramana, whatever citta experiences, no matter what, nibbana or what, no matter what, that which citta experiences. But for the ultimate truth, so many places, not just resorts, that people go, right? But what is the object that Buddha and Buddha to be developed to go to that place only? Not far away from seeing, hearing, visible object, anything. But it cannot be Kojara for those who have no understanding. The same object, but it's now the object of developing understanding, talking about it, to understand the truth of it. So it is Kojara for right understanding to develop, to realize the truth. That's why there is the term Uppa Nisaya Kojara, until it's strong enough, because it's the Aramana, the Kojara of the Buddha and his disciples. Not just go to see, but understand the truth of what is seen and what is seeing. So any reality is Kojara, but any reality is Aramana for those who have no understanding. It's just Aramana. But for the one who knows that it should be realized, because it's so real and it's covered up, it appears as something until it's nothing. What is seen is only different colors, if you use the term color, white, black, dark. But it appears as dress or table, people and thing, eyebrow or anything. until nothing as something gone, never to arise again. At that very moment, the truth appears to Panya. So it's not I who can do or who can realize. Without Panya, no matter what happened, no matter what is the object, it's not the object of understanding because it's not Upanishya Kojra for eons and eons to develop, to understand the truth. And when there is the understanding of the truth, it protects one from all kinds of akusala, depending on conditions. No more wrong will at all. It's not the place, it's not the selected object, but it's the understanding of any moment by conditions. Anatta has to be firmer and firmer and firmer until atta's gone, absolutely, ultimately, never to arise again. So it's right understanding which understands no one, and that is the moment of letting go of the idea of I or something like this, only that which impinge on the I base. And it's not far away, it's just here. That's why the word opanatiko, getting closer and closer and closer to the source that is there, arising and falling away. No rupa, no other rupa, no legs, no arms. It's only that which is there. One single reality appearing in a moment. So how can it be like this? Quite opposite, incredible. And that can be experienced only by the highly developed panya, naturally. No thought about when it will be, what object will be. And that is the idea of self. The self is there, trying to select, trying to make it arise, trying to understand it. But it's wrong because it's not naturally understanding what is there, just as it is by conditions. So the wrong way is not difficult, so very easy. And the right path is so subtle. And the understanding of the subtlety is the only way to understand the Buddhas, his virtues, his great parami, eons and eons to realize the truth of this moment.
So Thanachan, it will take a long time until what is seen is Gochara for Panya.
Even from the very beginning, the understanding of that begin to develop. That is the Gochara, even it is ordinary aramana, but it's the Gochara of Panya.
Yes.
And this is the Gochara we were discussing out there, that which is to be understood by Panya. And if it says Go Kamatana, it is what is the Gochara, what is the reality to be known.
Until it's Uppa, Nibbanda, Gochara.
Right.
So naturally, in a day, by conditions.
That which is directly realized.
No doubt about what he said. It's so true.
Clearly understood.
So be truthful to the truth. How many moments today thinking about Dhamma? If we don't talk about now, can there be any moment of understanding the truth, understanding that which has arisen now? That's the word of the Buddha.
Vincent, it's your last discussion today, so do you have any topic you'd like to bring up? I'm sure Ajahn will be glad if you do. Oh. And Carmen, anything else you would like to bring up?
But I have more days left.
So maybe I can just ask a question because we are on the Gochara. So Upanipanda Gochara is the direct understanding.
No matter whatever, even thinking about it while eating, talking,
So it doesn't have to be
by conditions.
direct. Okay.
That is the
I see.
understanding of anatta, little by little, until it's so firm. Nothing is done. It's there already.
I can see. And what about Araka Gochara? Is the protection. So it's
Before knowing that there's no one, akusala arises most of the time. In a day when there's no kusala moments. No araka, nothing protect.
so any moment of understanding is of the understanding of realities, then it's also Araka Gochara.
Certainly. And it will be upanibanda in a day, so natural by conditions. Why does one think about it while before that no thought about it at all? Just touching, speaking, all adamas. And what knows? Only Panya knows. It develops, no one develops at all. So when it's ready, it's right time for any level of understanding to arise. It's there by conditions, unexpectedly, even at moment of washing one's food, cooking in the kitchen, anytime, any place, anywhere. Anatta shows up clearer and clearer.
But then it has to be very firm. The understanding has to be firm.
No doubt about the characteristic which is there as no one and no thing at all. Hardness, only hardness, see.
For it to be upanibanda of that degree, not just Gotra, Upanisya Gotra, it has to be clear understanding of the reality. So the araka is conditioned by understanding. When there's understanding, then there is protection from our kusala. But unless it's clear understanding, it can't be upanibanda, as I understand. It has to be direct understanding, but I think even more than that.
When it's high degree of right understanding, it doesn't mind whether it is satipatthana or not.
I see.
Otherwise, attachment is there.
Thank you. Because the meaning, the literal meaning of Upanipanda is something that is anchor, right? Yeah. So very firm.
Very firm. So I
Not forget.
understood it has to be more, it has to be clear understanding, vipassana jnana, the anchor, no more forgetting.
How great patience, parami. And that is condition to let go, understanding how subtle it is.
This was a comment that Zhao made about the patience, but I may not have understood his comment correctly, but only when there is the development of right understanding of dhammas is there the patience not to go wrong, not to have the idea of practicing or doing something. So the patience develops, patience parami, kanti parami develops with right understanding to let go of the idea of I and I doing anything. But there has to be the understanding of what is there now for such patience to develop.
Even the word kojara, see, aramana and kojara and kamatana, see.
So little bit on like Sarah, like when you say about that patsa appear, so it's the same for even seeing, hearing, touching, smelling. These are arising, but they don't appear, right? It's just the object that these consciousness experience that appear, right?
So it depends on accumulations and conditions, what appears at this moment. If we try to have a fixed rule that it's visible object that appears first, then it's wrong understanding. What about pleasant feeling now? It's a nama. It
Yes,
can appear. So it
yes.
just depends on conditions, what appears. So
Okay.
I don't like to say only this or in this order, or because I think it's misleading.
Selecting.
Is selecting
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
or
yeah.
labeling, or attending to particular objects. For example, if one asks the Buddha for kamatana or jhana, and she talks about seeing, or if she talks about visible object, it doesn't mean be aware or understand visible object as the Gochara now,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it depends on accumulations, conditions, no selection, no expectation, what will
yeah.
appear.
Okay, thank you.
So now, what is kamatana? That which is not known cannot be kamatana. See?
That which is to be understood now in this context of discussion of understanding realities, any reality now.
Kometa, you refer to the sutta, right? Was the conversation long between the what did the Buddha say to the monks?
It's quite short.
Okay.
You mentioned that the four people went to the
Is this moment object, aramana, or kojara, or kamatana?
Aramana. It's quite far, yeah. Because the four people have accumulation more and more long time about the right understanding. So ไม่ใช่อันนี้อะมันไม่ใช่ประสูตรหายไปไหนละมันไม่ใช่ประสูตรไม่ใช่ในพระไตรมันไม่อยู่ใน Gisu Gopama Chapaka.
read in Thai. I don't dare to translate the Pitaka into English.
Okay, Jonathan can translate.
ภิกษุรูปหนึ่งกำหนดขอโทษนะครับพระศาสดาเมื่อประทับอยู่ณพระเชตวันมหาวิหารทรงปรารภกิงสุโกปมสูตรตรัสพระธรรมเทศนานี้มีคำเริ่มต้นว่าสัพเพหิกึงสุโกทิโถดังนี้ได้ยินว่าภิกษุสี่รูปเข้าไปเฝ้าพระตถาคตทูลขอกรรมฐานพระศาสดาทรงบอกกรรมฐานแก่ภิกษุเหล่านั้นภิกษุเหล่านั้นเรียนกรรมฐานไปสู่ที่พักกลางคืนที่พักกลางวันในภิกษุเหล่านั้น
Well, it doesn't say what the Gammatan given by the Buddha. It just says the Buddha gave a Gammatan, and they went off and studied or considered
I think there's
it.
more.
Oh, okay.
No, but it's not in here. I think there must be more. This is just a short. Yes, like a summary.
It seems in this context, Ajahn, that Kamatan is used like Gochara, is like just the object of understanding, the Buddha's object of understanding. So we can say in this context, Aramana is any object, and the Gochara or the Kamatan is the object to be understood. The reality, in other words, it must be a reality as object of understanding.
And it cannot be anything else beside this moment.
Okay, I found the following message or statement. ภิกษุรูปหนึ่งกำหนดผัสสายตนะหกบรรลุอรหันต์แล้วรูปหนึ่งกำหนดขันธ์ห้ารูปหนึ่งกำหนดมหาภูตะสี่รูปหนึ่งกำหนดธาตุ18ภิกษุเหล่านั้นกราบทูลคุณวิเศษที่ตนบรรลุแก่พระศาสดาในบรรดาภิกษุเหล่านั้นมีรูปหนึ่งเกิดความปริวิตกว่ากรรมฐานเหล่านั้นมีข้อแตกต่างกันแต่นิพพานเป็นอย่างเดียวกันภิกษุทั้งหมดบรรลุอรหัตได้อย่างไรจึงทูลถามพระศาสดาพระศาสดาตรัสว่าดูก่อนภิกษุเธอก็ไม่ต่างกันกับพี่น้อง4คนที่เห็นต้นทองกวาวภิกษุทั้งหลายกราบทูลอาราธนาว่าข้าแต่พระองค์ผู้เจริญขอพระองค์ทรงแสดงเหตุนี้แก่ข้าพระองค์เถิดทรงนำเรื่องอดีตมาตรัสเล่าก็เป็นเรื่องต่อท่านอาจารย์อยากให้อ่านต่อไหมครับ โอเคภิกษุรูปหนึ่งกำหนดผัสสะยตนะหกบรรลุอรหัตแล้วรูปหนึ่งกำหนดขันธ์ห้ารูปหนึ่งกำหนดมหาภูตะสี่รูปหนึ่งกำหนดธาตุ18
In other words, any reality. That's why the meaning is just the same as Gochara in this any reality that is the object of understanding right now. That's it. So it doesn't matter what the Buddha, what the example is, whether it's seeing or visible object or feeling. It's just the Kammatana, the object to be understood now.
Right. So talk about 18 elements and the kanta, but how about the other two? Is not specific. The first one I heard about pasa, or about ayadana and mahabhuta.
Rupas.
But that's limited number, right?
No, it's not. It's not limited to anything because without Mahabhuta Rupas, no other Rupas. So, and then it mentions khandhas. It's like in the Satipatthana Sutta, people think it's limited, but at the end, khandhas. So any reality,
right,
any reality
right.
to be understood now, no limit.
But for that one particular Mahabhuta, that's already in Rupa only, right?
It's just an example of what can be the Kammatana now, what can be the Gochara now.
Mm-hmm.
Hardness now.
Okay.
And I think that it also depends on the accumulation of the monks.
Right. It depends on accumulation, but if the answer is all the dhammas, then the accumulation doesn't matter.
So that's why I mentioned all the dhatus, for example,
Right.
any dhatu.
Mhm.
But it is according to the any dhatu without selection, any khandha without selection.
Okay.
To be remembered, not to be recited, not to be concentrated, but to understand.
Not to focus on a particular one or to think this one is suitable, because what about now? Different reality to be known.
It's because I found the translation into English, but I don't know whether it's correct or not. So the following parts say that these ascetics were all praised for their special qualities. In that assembly of ascetics, there were differences in views. They asked the Blessed One how it was that all of them who had completed different paths of purification still had different views and disagreements, despite having seen the same golden flame tree. Why did they each understand it differently? The Buddha then answered that they were all like princes who had seen the golden flame tree in the past. Even though they were siblings, the four of them perceived it differently. So too with these ascetics. The Buddha third recounted the past story to explain the reason for these differences. No? It's... Okay. It's in the Khuddaka. I think it's the Khuddaka. I think this here one.
This is accumulations, Pong, different accumulations. Not
Khuddaka Nikaya.
Yeah, what's the name of the sutta?
Kisa Gautami or Kisa Kumara Jataka.
Kisa Gautami.
It's 514.
So I think the conclusion is that when it says in brief that the Buddha gave them a kammatthana, it means that he explained conditioned realities to them each in different ways. Because elsewhere in the teachings we know that it says that the different ways of classifying, or if you like, grouping conditioned realities such as khandhas, as dhatus, as ayatanas, is because different people have different accumulations for understanding dhammas yeah.
So it's more like the way some people accumulation is easier to explain to khandha, you mean, and some explain to ayatana, right? So instead of particular dhamma, but the particular classification.
People understand better when they hear about khandhas,
right.
and others understand better when they hear about dhatus,
right.
or ayatanas. Yeah.
For some people, if they hear about the 3 rounds, it's just a condition for a lot of confusion. But for others, something else is confusing. But it depends what is most helpful. Different ways of explaining about dhammas, that's all.
Right, but so kammatthana here could mean the way of classification of dhamma, not necessarily the aramana.
No, it's referring to the objects right. To be understood as explained by way of khandhas or by way of ayatanas or by way of dhatus or rounds.
Okay.
But if we come back to this morning, this is still us doing and diving into a text and bringing us further away from what is now, right? Because then, if this morning, yeah, it's about now, and in the afternoon we're diving into a text, and then I feel like, okay, maybe we have to go and read something and things like that. So that's...
Well, one time some people asked Ajahn, she feel guilty to watch TV, but Ajahn said, if you know it's not you who watch TV, by not watching TV you are not liberated. But if you know it's not you who watch TV,
Yeah, but you can apply that also on meditation. So then your discussion is gone.
That's the right. But are you? Is it there to apply to meditation yet?
I think it's a good point that Carmen's mentioned. It is, what about now? One can be lost in the story of the Jataka and the ascetics and what happened and what exactly did the Buddha say. But what about now? What about the Kammatthana at this very moment? And this is the point, no matter when, where, anytime.
I think if you re-listen to this discussion, you'll find that there are so many reminders of Ajahn about the present moment. She brings it back so often, but we keep insisting on going off on a tangent.
What's the most important? Reality.
Just the understanding now. It is. No matter watching television, looking at the text, even on the meditation retreat, it's all about now, this very moment. Even when trying or selecting, even then there can be understanding. It has to be now.
Why we talk about aramana in general, and then Kojara, and then Upanishad Kojara, Araka Kojara, and Upanibandha Kojara, stage by stage. If it's not yet Upanibandha Kojara, can it condition right understanding of this moment?
These are different levels of understanding, the intellectual understanding of the object to be understood, the sound now, the visible object, what is to be known now, the Gotra as taught by the Buddha. And the second one is referring to the protection from akusala at moments of understanding. So only when understanding develops does it begin to protect from unwholesome realities arising. At moments of understanding, no clinging or harmful thoughts, for example. So more and more protection from the development of understanding until it is firm, clear, anchoring understanding.
That's why when there is the understanding, no matter in what aspect, there can be understanding. Now, aramana, kojara, and kammatthana, any word, it's just about understanding what is there, different levels. So who knows whether now it's Upanibandha Kojara? So natural, by conditions. If there's not degree, no way to have less akusala. And more than that, even it's not there, how can it be letting go? Understanding deeper. No one at all can do anything. All depends on conditions. Even those who have developed so great parami, when it's not ready, it cannot condition the moment of enlightenment. No doubt about what is there as something or not anymore.
Just on that earlier topic of the Kammatthana, I'm reminded now that in one sutta it explains the Buddha taught to Venerable Rahula about foulness of the body, because Rahula had a lot of conceit, and so particularly taught foulness of the body. So you can say, if you like, that's a Kammatthana being given, but really it's the Buddha seeing the propensity of Rahula and understanding what he needed to hear in order to become enlightened. So not really giving a Kammatthana.
Even some idea about the truth. What about the asubha? Without the skin. So asubha.
Foul. Ugly. Just the skin.
And actually, in the deepest sense, whatever is conditioned to arise is foul, not beautiful as we think. So one of the vipalasas that only eradicated by the anagami, taking what is foul for being beautiful. Anything that is conditioned to arise.
And as far as I understood, in the time of the Buddha gave different people different objects, depending on their defilements and accumulations. How is that working these days? So, because even all of us need other objects, and
No selection.
what do you mean?
No selection. Anatta.
Yeah, but the Buddha did give different objects.
Buddha
right?
said all dhammas are anatta.
That, yeah.
Includes every moment, everything.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about, what was being read out, because at one level it said he gave them a Kammatthana, but when it's further explained, it turns out that he taught them about all conditioned realities, like the khandhas or the dhatus, because they include all conditioned realities. So it's not really giving a particular object, it's explaining conditioned realities in a different way.
Yeah, in this sutta, but as far as I understood, he told some people to stare at the flower.
To what? Stare at a flower?
Yeah. To see it, you know.
I don't think so. No, that was the general topic we were discussing. So this was supposed to be an example of that kind of thing, but it turns out not to be. But otherwise, he didn't give specific objects for development of understanding of realities. There may be times when he gave certain similes or illusions or references that would have particular meaning for
like
the individual.
Rubbing the cloth or
Yeah, the rubbing the cloth was one,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the Buddha understood that he needed that particular. Yeah. But there's no point in thinking that this means that for each individual there is something, like for us, there are certain things we should be aware of or have understanding of more than others. Because that one was ready for enlightenment, the one who rubbed the cloth. Just needed to get over the last hurdle. But we're not in that position, so we're starting out at the beginning. And so it's not that if we only could find the right conditioned reality to contemplate, then we'd be...
It's like when people read Satipatthana Sutta, they think the Buddha said one should start with awareness of the body, and they don't even understand what kaya means, and then by order, but it's all the idea of someone doing something and selecting. It's not considering carefully the meaning.
And
Any khandha, any dhatu, any reality, any Vedana.
And
Like
comment,
some suttas, he just talked about Vedana. It doesn't mean just focus on Vedana, but he can't talk about every reality in every sutta.
I think in the commentary to that sutta, it is said that because that particular monk, he attained the kasina, jhana with kasina as object in the past, and that would be just the basis for understand, for insight. So it's not like trying to reach jhana with that object, yeah. So.
And as Sarah said, there are different suttas that give emphasis to different conditioned realities, or like the suttas that emphasize effort, suttas that emphasize, that refer to the body, kayagata sati,
Nutriments.
on in and out breathing, the nutriments, and so on and so forth. But these are not for selective development. They are given because the listener in that time, it's what they needed to hear.
That's selective.
That's selective by the Buddha as to what he is the one who knows. He can see their accumulations. He knows what they need to hear. Yeah.
Okay,
But
I think we can.
prior to that, they must have developed understanding of all realities
Without selection.
Yeah.
without selection. Yeah.
Like the doctor. The doctor does not select, but it depends on the disease.
I think we can continue this discussion tomorrow, and tomorrow we will be just having the all day, same, 10:30 in the morning, 1:30 in the afternoon. So thank you those at home, and if those at home have anything they'd like to ask tomorrow, put up your hand or let me know well in advance, and see you all tomorrow.
Thank you,